He's keeping it. Yeah, no, I know.
No, but like, because like, it's just anyone. Like, I would appreciate if you gave me suffice in the time. Your goal isn't to like prove things to them. It's to keep your energy low. Yeah. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I told her like, if you want to do it to large, I'm only gonna pay you my fair share, which is 1%. And then she's like, I'm gonna say occupational rent. I'm like, okay, I'll give you occupational rent. Because you're not letting me have my space. So you're not gonna pay me space for a month.
I just want them to leave without talking to us.
Yeah.
Sure, go.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. Hello.
How's it going?
Come on down.
Again, you can do as much as we could do that.
Hey guys. Hello.
Hello. Assuming you're the other co-owner?
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh,
I don't know how much of our conversation you heard upstairs.
Yeah.
Because it's not really soundproof. But again, until it's resolved in court, there's nothing that we can do. However, if you start causing disturbances by screaming, hitting, throwing things, then at that point, it becomes criminal, and then you can get arrested and charged for that stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So when I came in here, it was locked. I called police. Police told me to call non-emergency. Told me to call dispute and resolution Dixie and Bloor. She misconstrued the fact saying that I was screaming so that you guys could come.
Right.
I went through every legal matter and rights that I have, proper channels.
Right.
She's avoiding them
Right.
to
So
get answers.
just as I told her,
Yep.
police is not the proper channel.
Absolutely.
We don't deal with
Civil
when it comes
matters.
down to- exactly,
Yep,
civil
absolutely.
matters when it comes to ownership of property
Yep.
and all that stuff. That's again, that goes through the courts. Has
Yep.
nothing to do with us.
Yep.
Like if she changes the locks or you change the lock, 10, 4, 10, 6, it doesn't matter. You guys are both co-owners. If you guys want to start this petty war against each other, that's you guys to deal with.
Absolutely.
We're gonna keep attending if you guys keep calling us and saying that one person's causing disturbance, but then it becomes mischief if you're calling us just to tattle on each other.
So she
Yeah.
called for a noise complaint as well. I have never called police services, like emergency services. I call non-emergency because I know I just need police presence to resolve this matter. I need access to my property. That's it.
Right.
And again, they kept giving me the runaround. I didn't get a resolution. So now that you've informed her that I have full access, I'm going to now remove the hinges because she's not giving me access to that.
What's in there?
My laundry room. This stuff was originally in there. So I've been on vacation for 3 weeks. Since then, she has cut access to my cameras. She moved all of my property from downstairs up here, and she's not letting me move it elsewhere so I can assess damages. I've already seen damages on 2 of my items up there, and I need to assess everything. And I need my space so I can move this stuff and assess. Where am I going to move this stuff?
What's the relationship between
We
you
are
and the
just
owner
not,
in the house?
This was a financial endeavor. There's no personal relationship whatsoever. Like, there's no romantic involvement whatsoever. We're both independent people,
Okay.
and we did this to gain independence.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Okay, so I guess you guys no longer wanted to have co-ownership of the house, and now you're dealing with that through civil matters, is that correct?
In essence,
But-
should I just say the full context?
Yeah, like, do you mind if I chat a little bit? Yeah, I'm Kyle, his friend. I came here with Salad, like, really just to try and keep the peace. And, like, when I look at this, I just see two people that, like, actually care about each other that are just so upset now. And they're just, like, kind of retaliating at each other, you know, through legal means at this point, too. And, like, coming here, like, you know, this is my drum kit. That Salak, his thing, like, Salak was going to build a business here and make a studio in the basement. And this is my drum kit. I bought it when I was 15 years old. And that was in the basement alongside all this other music equipment. Not all of it was here right now, but she moved all this stuff while he was away out of the country in Saudi Arabia.
Why would she move it then?
That's what I mean. She's retaliating against me.
Because you
She's
sent an email saying you only want to have one room now?
no.
Because she sent him a legally threatening email. He responded to it.
Yeah. So
And
basically,
she said, like, if you're like, you only own this much, and he's like, well, if I only own this much, I'll only pay this much.
that's it.
And then, so now
Fair.
her response to that is to move all this stuff, and like, you know, this is thousands of dollars of goods. You know, and even for me, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm worried, like, it's important to me.
Right.
And like, you know, I sat with Dia, and like, you know, they're both very upset, and I think like, Dia, like, honestly, I feel like a business relationship counselor can help them figure out how to split their assets and move out. But what I'm really worried about is actions like this, where she did this. Sal came inside. He wants to move his stuff back in the kitchen, a shared space where he can use his cups and his stuff like that. And she's grabbing it from his hands and stuff. And it's like, this is not gonna end good.
Is there anywhere else you can stay for the time being until you guys get it figured out?
No,
This
then
is his
why?
home,
This is
you know?
my home. I
I
moved
know, but it just
every
seems
single.
like it's very toxic.
Yeah,
I understand that completely, but if she doesn't talk to me, my life is not affected by her being here.
Right.
That's what she needs to understand. It's completely the opposite with her. Just by me being here, she's affected by this. Like, I don't interact with your life in any way, shape, or form. I sit here, and all of my friends know this. We sit here, and she comes and joins us. Like,
Yeah.
we don't come up there. We only come to the kitchen. That's it. We've never even went up. Do you even know what upstairs looks like?
Just the
Before
ones
the
the first
renovations?
day, like
That's
the-
it.
yeah.
Like, I don't interfere on her life, but she continuously interferes on mine.
Right.
And I was paying 50-50 because the assumption was 4 floors, my separate entrance, my 2 floors, her separate entrance, her 2 floors.
Yeah.
Completely fair, completely reasonable.
Kind of like ends up
And
that
then,
line right there.
yeah, and all of the time she's saying, you can't do this. I can't vape in my own house. I can't have guests after 9 p.m. Like, I didn't do this to
Can't
become a
date other
roommate.
girls,
I
like,
did this
yeah.
as a co-owner, so I have full access and full, agency of my life.
And
Like,
to be
that's it.
open with you guys, like, you know, she was in love with him before he moved in,
I
and
did
then
not know that.
after he signed the mortgage or whatever, then she revealed that to his best friend, or my friend Rishi, and since then it's kind of like, oh shit, and you know, she's been upset when he would have a girl go on a date or something and calling his mom and telling him all of the
Yeah.
stuff that
So
he's
that
doing.
explains it too.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's like, you know, Salik is really obviously quite like activated right now, but this is where it all is from, you know.
Right.
And like now he's just like, I just wanted my peace, I wanted build my business, we were and she has said to his best friend, like, oh, you know, maybe we'll essentially fall in love. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so what I was here to do, sorry to cut you off, is just like, I wanted to kind of keep the peace and just like, Dia, like, can we just have the space? Like, it makes sense, you know, you're up there, he can be down here until you guys figure it out in court with your lawyers and stuff. Just let him be away from you. I did try to take off the hinges, but I don't want to rip the door out. You
Right.
know? But I would love if you guys could give support just to let him have his space. You know?
Right, so again, like I said, you defined it perfectly. It's gonna have to go through civil. Like, as
Absolutely.
long as you still are co-owner of the place, there's nothing that the police is gonna do to kick you out of here.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
have every legal right to be in here,
Yep.
as does she.
Exactly.
The only time we get involved is when there's a disruption of the peace. So any type of shouting, or if you're throwing things, or if you're physically attacking one another,
Absolutely.
right? So as long as neither of you guys do any of that, then calling us is not gonna do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But just, to be quite frank, waste our time and waste your
Absolutely,
time
absolutely.
too, right?
Like,
She
he
was-
called non-emergency. He
I called
didn't lie about
non-emergency, yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
she said he's yelling, but I have all the recordings. Like they were both upset with each other.
Right.
is all,
And that's what I mean.
you
And
know?
these things get very petty when people
Yeah.
don't get what they
Yeah.
want, and
Yeah.
when court takes a long time. Like, trust me, I'm going to court for things that happened 3 years ago, right? They take
Yeah.
a very long time to process.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, until that court date is set, you have to keep the peace. And I'm not just saying
No,
to you. We said it to her
absolutely
as
both, yeah.
well. And
So
it's
do we kind of have the go ahead to like keep like move our stuff back down? Like that's not gonna.
we can't
like,
say
we-
yes or no to anything, right? That's
yeah,
all.
it's civil.
As
Yeah.
long as whatever the ownership says for the property, right? Whatever's on the mortgage. If your
Yeah.
name's on the mortgage, then it's your home to do whatever you please, right? And
Yeah.
same thing with her. If it's her name's on the mortgage, it's her home to do whatever she
And if she
pleases,
still
right?
keeps continuing calling police while we're doing things we're legally allowed to do.
Well, there's a
like, that
record
starts
every time a
looking
call
at-
gets
Yeah.
generated where we
Cool.
put what when we
Yeah.
attended and what was the outcome
I'm
of our
glad you called
attendance.
the non-emergency.
Yeah, because this
right?
is not emergency.
Yeah.
I know my rights. I'm not
She
trying
was
to
lying,
waste
so we took
resources.
it off the hinges and stuff. You
Yeah.
can see it. There's nothing.
But when she called for the noise complaint the first time, police officer literally said, "Do not waste resources
Yeah.
for a civil matter." Like
Yeah,
now,
they
this
said
is the
that.
second time,
Yeah.
Right,
and that will
but
be a
every
third
time
time.
it's kept a record, right? And the more
Yeah.
times that it happens, then that's where things can get where we can actually charge people for mischief for calling us
Yeah.
for a non-emergency reason
Absolutely.
or
That
for
would be on
fabricating
her,
things,
like for
right?
calling,
Yeah.
like right.
Yeah. Or if you were to call on her for things
Yeah.
that aren't true too,
Absolutely.
right? Like I
Just
said,
like-
it goes both ways when it comes down to people being petty. So
Absolutely.
regardless of who's calling us, if you guys are just using us as the middleman, first
Yeah,
of all, you're
yeah,
not going to
yeah.
get anything
None.
resolved,
Absolutely.
and second and third of all, you could get charged for it, right?
Yeah.
So
So if you
it's-
start getting like because she's come like if you guys start getting activated, like call me or Rishi or something, and then we just
I just don't engage with her.
I know,
I
but
ignore her
she's-
completely and
she
live my
engages
life.
with you though.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, like
Yeah.
if people are making false accusations, we tell people you're free to record and take
Absolutely.
pictures in common areas.
Yep.
That excludes places where they have privacy, which would be a bedroom, a bathroom, stuff
Yep.
like that.
Cool.
If you report them, then you can get charged.
Absolutely.
That's what we do
Yeah.
thanks for
But in
that.
common areas like here or upstairs, if something's happened, you feel like there may be a false accusation, then you are welcome to record.
Okay.
Right,
So
so-
can I ask her peacefully right now to open the door because she's gonna say no, or is the better approach for me to rip the door off?
This door.
This door right
you
here.
need access to?
Yep.
Where's the lock?
She just changed the law.
She changed the lock. Yeah, she has a key.
What's in
She
there?
won't give it.
My laundry room, my tools, and this was in there.
This whole studio, like
Yeah.
where all this music equipment was.
Yeah, well, we've already told you, you're not allowed to change the locks, right? So if she doesn't want to open it, if you want to remove the lock, you can.
Okay, cool.
Because again, like I
Wait, you
said,
said you're not allowed to change the locks?
if
Yeah.
you're a co-owner of it, no.
Like,
If
it's your
it's
house
different if
too.
it
So
was.
Yeah.
she changed it though, right? Like,
She changed it.
Right,
Is
I
it-
know, but it's not an illegal thing to do. It's just if you were to go
Oh.
civilly and put that up in court, then that's when it would count against her, right?
I see.
But legally, like we're not gonna arrest her for it or anything
Right.
like for us.
So,
But-
so at least this is recorded now that she changed that, and that's
And make sure you're documenting everything.
Everything
Like
has
the
been done.
damages too.
Every little
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, all of that can get put into your civil lawsuit that you're
Yeah.
having,
Yeah.
that you're ongoing, and it can benefit you if
yeah.
you're able to have evidence with that. And that's what we tell people in these situations where people start pointing fingers at one another.
So
Yeah.
you said, to clarify, you said we can't change it, but we can remove it. That's okay.
It's your house.
Yeah, but don't change it. That's where it looks bad.
I'm not gonna put a lock on.
No,
it.
what I mean is that if he were to change the locks to the house and she were to remove the lock and come into the house, she's allowed to do that too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if he changes it, she changes it. It's a waste of time for you guys to keep changing locks and spending money on that. It's a
Yeah.
monetary waste at the end of the day. But if you guys wanted to get in that petty war, you technically could.
But this indoor lock, like it, like can
Anything
you
part of the
remove it?
house.
Part of the
Anything
house.
part of the house,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
If he owns it, she owns it, it's your house. I can't tell you what to do in your house.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
It is what it is.
Cool.
Right? Sorry
Thank
you
you.
guys had to come up for this. Like,
no, I mean
I was honestly trying so hard to like peace keep myself and just be like, guys, can we just work?
We're
something
trying
out?
for an
Like,
hour, and
Right.
like,
But like I said, if things are getting escalated, remove yourself out of the situation. Because if we get here and there is, she's got a video of you
Yeah.
screaming and getting
Yeah,
in her face
absolutely.
and pushing her or something like
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
then you're
If she
gonna
grabs
get
something in
yourself
her
a lot of
hands, like
trouble.
you just
Absolutely.
let go.
Absolutely.
Like, like
So if you truly are trying to keep the peace and do things properly,
Yeah.
then if she's the one escalating, then you need to remove yourself from the situation. I'll tell her the same thing. If
Yeah.
you're the one escalating, she needs to remove herself from the
and that'll look
situation.
Sounds
good
good.
for you in the future.
Right? We're
Like,
not.
but
we're
then I
not
won't
on
have a
anybody's
police
side, so.
record of that. That's the thing.
No, you still will. You can still have like a you can have your I'm leaving now, I'm taking because you're doing this and that can be shown in court and show
Okay, yeah.
I'm not engaging and she's coming at me, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Cool.
these are all
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Like if you
And
leave
as a
and then
man-
you come
sorry.
home and the front door is locked or whatever door you used to get
Yes.
in here, then you can call us because you were legally allowed to be in here.
Yeah,
You can't get
absolutely.
kicked out of your home, right?
Makes
So
sense.
we have to be
That's
like
the only time you can
hypersensitive
call.
to it
Makes
too.
sense.
Right?
Thank
Because
you.
as a man, like we have to be hypersensitive to that. A man calls and says that, go to non-emergency. If a woman calls, you guys are here. right? So we have to be very aware of like. If
I
she
can't speak
says-
for the calls. I can't speak for how
Right?
the calls were generated or
Yeah.
who took it or
Well,
what avenue.
I think for good
went, right?
reason. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but for good reason, right? But like, it's just that like we as soon as like there's something like just back off is my experience because you don't want to be getting anything like that.
Okay,
Sounds
any
good.
other questions?
Could I clarify what it actually means for noise complaints? Because again, we did this to run a studio. Like I only uprooted my life so I can have freedom of sound. She's gonna continuously call the police for noise complaints.
Call.
Let her call.
It helps
But
your
like
case.
It's
what?
your house too. You can make as much noise as you want.
But what times? Because
It's time.
I actually received an official city of bylaw thing, despite
Right.
me
The
being.
neighbors could hear it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was her because we've tested it. The first day we tested, brought 4 amps downstairs, drum kit,
Yeah.
literally
She was there.
play as
Same.
loud as you can.
Yeah,
We
she-
went outside, nothing. And even when the police came for the noise complaint, like they came down, they didn't even know what. Like they heard it as they started coming down. They're like, "Oh, you guys are just playing instruments. That's it." Like,
So
see,
noise complaints are bylaw. I wouldn't be able to tell you the specific.
Okay.
We
Cool.
attend to them to just tell people like quiet it down, but
Sounds good.
ultimately who would give you the tickets and infractions is bylaw. So
Sounds good.
call just the city of Mississauga and then ask them for what their noise complaint bylaw offense is and
Sure.
what it entails.
Sounds
and you'll
good.
get a way better answer than what I'm going to give you.
Okay,
Gotcha.
thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank
Like
you.
we will attend for noise complaints,
Yeah.
and then if we find it excessive, then it's more so we deal with the disturbance aspect of it
Absolutely.
instead of a noise complaint.
Sounds good.
I mean,
Sounds good.
dude, like you joined this business partnership under the pretense of starting a music studio.
Yeah.
Even if a bylaw officer gives you something like that, we have more than enough proof to show, like, hey, this is kind of unreasonable.
Yeah.
You know, like
Cool.
he is.
Exactly. It all comes down to evidence, right? Even
Yeah.
for us.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah, I
time.
really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Seriously.
What about you?
I know. I'm not bro.
I feel like so sad. Like I feel like crying right now. I just feel so sad for all this shit. Like even like the whole thing being able to tell them, like, you know, she's not is why this all going. Like you're really agitated right now, right? Like you're very, for good reason. You're upset, and like it's hard to really go human to human with them. I was really happy I'm here to say, you know, she was in love with him, and she told his best friend after he signed, and like all this stuff going on. Like do you see all the body when like
Yeah.
and, like you can see like when they talk to someone like that, like she's kind of like going nuts. Like apparently he's threatening her and blah blah blah. And they come down and talk to us, and it's like, yo, what's going on? They go like, yo, and they try not to advise you, but they clearly did. That one cop there, she was like, let them go, sack it up. And that's what I'm saying, you too. But seriously, Sal, like bro to bro with you. You have a weakness, just like I have, which is the emotions, right?
Yeah.
You know, and like I had to like really like come to you and say, like, I know you're not gonna, you know, I'd get in your face, like trust me, it's your brother, right?
No,
Just take
yeah,
some
that's
space.
a good call.
But the biggest thing is as soon as you guys came in, that was physical. Yeah. You guys were both the same thing, and like if you push her and she falls, you know, like you have to be able to be aware. Like next time you have to be aware. Am I feeling angry? And just fucking okay. Because then I grew up in a family where police was called, blood, all that stuff, you know, and I always had to be able to. My sister and I would fight. I had to back off, you know, and like I've been at a bus stop where two cops, like my feet are freezing cold. They want to let me on the bus. They're like, "Oh, you think you're a big man? You know, bullying a girl like that?" And like I just had to like take it easy. Cool. Thank
Can
you.
put that up?
It's all back.
It's all back. Yeah. Is it cool if he has the other key for it?
No.
Then you can't lock it again.
Then I won't look it.
Cool. That's it. I just needed to hear that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Access. Oh, see, your stuff is still in here.
That's her stuff. This is. I remember. I'm
That's how your 3D printer?
No, I have a. So I remember I put some stuff. Yeah. So here. Yeah. Look. This. I moved everything, huh? Look, some of my stuff is still here.
No, Sal, honestly, man. Build your fucking business, dude.
Like this for later.
Like, you're back, like, just like, don't slow your roll. Like, you look at that support you just got from the cops and everything.